Hey everybody, welcome to our full moon, worm moon, the last moon of winter, our pickapile reading. I haven't done a pickapile reading in a while, but I was drawn to do this particular reading. For this full moon reading, we're going to be concentrating on what we need to confront from our past life that we are just refusing to let go. This is the biggest reading I've ever done, you guys. The biggest reading I've ever done. The most amazing day transpired. I actually did not want to do, I've been working with Spirit for so long today that I was exhausted, and I said, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow. And they said, no, because today it is the 9th. It is the full moon. It is 3/9/2020. And of course, these readings are timeless, so it doesn't matter when you see it. But this energy today is really special because we have gone through a really tough winter cycle, a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of changing, a lot of evolution, transformation, transmutation, a lot of shape shifting on all levels, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally. We are changing. So this full moon's really special to me because I just saw this past life energy that was holding myself back. And that's kind of how this came to be. So they're numbered from 1 to 5. The Greco-Roman is number 2. The Celtic is wow, Freudian slip. Ooh, interesting. Hold on. That was just a Freudian slip, so I'll take it. Oh my, well, they said it is and it isn't. So the number 2 is going to be really prominent in the Greco-Roman reading. So that's kind of interesting and exciting. So we have the Greco-Roman, which is the Greek-Roman, is number 1. Celtic is number 2. Egypt is number 3. Wars and Battles is number 4. And Atlantis is number 5. So starting here, this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, Atlantis. So the timestamps will be below. I'm quite sure this is going to go to at least 2 videos because so look for the timestamps in the descriptions below. I'll try and make it as simple and easy to follow as possible because you guys, I have never ever pulled this many. First of all, when I was told I was going to do 5 groups, that was mind-blowing. But then when they started pulling the cards for each group, oh my gosh, it was so intense. So I've already kind of gone through these readings for you guys. So what I'm going to say is you may be drawn to all 5 of them. If that's the case, watch all of the videos, you know, video 1, 2, I don't know what's going to happen. It may just be 1. Maybe we'll be blessed with 1 video. I don't know. But looking at the cards, I don't know. It's quite overwhelming, but also really awesome. So maybe you're drawn to, you know, 2 of them. Maybe you're just drawn to 1 of them. So whatever works for you, okay? So the timestamps will be below, and I don't think we have anything else to say. So I'm just going to dive right into pile number 1. Pile number 1. So you were drawn to the Greco-Roman. You know, this is a really powerful, all of them were powerful. I mean, honestly, I'm so exhausted right now that I can't believe I still have 5 more to go, but I know it's going to be good because I'm going to feel this beautiful energy flowing through me, this Reiki energy that I called upon. But you guys, man, so much came through for you that I want to just read you what this says. I'm not going to read all of them. The rest of it is going to be, you know, between us and Spirit, but you know, I'll read some things here and there, but this is like really just kind of like, I want you to look at the card. Okay, so this is your reading. I have other cards that have already come through. This is a big one. You're gonna need paper and pen. So even if you want to pause it right now, Ooh, I just love when I said that it was 444. Ooh, so look that up, pile number 1. Look up 444 under angel numbers. So get some pen and paper and take some notes, because this is going to be a big one, and there's going to be a lot of messages that are going to be coming through. So, and I apologize. My neighbors have been going up and down the road like crazy today, so I apologize for that. But anyway, so for this particular pile, I felt more of a powerful energy than per se, like, you know, like, I guess you could say for some, the way some people look at like Greek or Roman times, you know, a lot of times we think of poverty, extreme poverty and extreme wealth, right? And a lot of times I'll feel a balance, but this one I'm feeling more of like a power. So I'm going to read the description. You take from it what you need, leave behind what you don't. Said this card indicates that you had a significant life in Greece or Rome that is influencing the situation you're inquiring about. You may have noticed that you're drawn to Greco-Roman architecture, culture, and spirituality. Perhaps you've even visited areas of the Mediterranean which felt strangely familiar. Often when we visit a place where we lived in other lives, we experience a sense of déjà vu. During your Greco-Roman lifetime, you had experiences and relationships that formed the basis of your present life situation. You've also carried the knowledge forward that you gained in that lifetime. Now that you're consciously aware of your connection to Greece and Rome, spend time researching these ancient cultures and the spirituality associated with those places. Your research will trigger memories and insights, and you'll come to better understand yourself and your situation. Yeah, in fact, I also, you know, got from this that it's not even like for some of these, I was actually going to put down like a time period, you know, because when I'm like, okay, what's this whole point of this reading, right, is dealing with our past life. Like, what's the one particular past life that, you know, need to, you know, work on, focus on, and learn from. And right now, like in this particular time, in this energy, like, when do I, like, how do I connect to that energy, right? So another thing I got for you guys was meditation. So for some of you, like when you're in meditation, ask your higher self, ask your spirit guides, you know, whichever ones you feel really good about and connected to, and just say, like, you know, can you please show me what it is I need to learn from? Like, for instance, what drew me to this whole entire reading was pile number 3 was Egypt. And I said, what is holding me back from like moving forward? Like, I feel really good. I'm feeling like I'm gaining momentum, but I also, like, this is the end of the winter, right? I want to purge. Like, what's this last, you know, time? And whenever you watch this, these are timeless, but it's like, you know, are you at the end of a cycle? Like, what's that last bit that you need to purge before you start the new cycle? And, you know, and so I started to like see that. So for yourself, it's like, what are you connected to that time? You know, do you have, you know, guilt or whatever it is? It could be, you know, so that is like the main topic of your reading, pile number 1. So we're going to get into the other characters as we go. So just think about that and, you know, meditate on that. Okay. So I'm going to take this away and we're going to kind of go bit by bit, okay? And I also have other cards I'm working. I'll list the decks below, all the decks that I'm working with. You know, the Greco-Roman is from the Past Life deck, and we're also using Moonology, Dare to Be Simple deck, Medicine cards, Native Spirit deck, and I believe that's it. Oh, and the Crystal Oracles. Okay, so moving on. So yeah, look at you guys, right? The interesting thing is this is how Spirit had me, you know, set this up, right? So in this past life, whatever it is, right? Like I said, I wanted to put in a time frame, like from this time to this time. And I heard, no, it's like, it's just anything that is from that time period, the Greek Romans. It could be, it's just that, and it's that part of the world that you lived in, that energy, that culture. And it could, and I just heard, it could even be like an ancestor, like maybe you have a lot of Greek ancestors or, you know, Roman ancestors. I even heard Romania, like, it's just like that old world, right? Like, cause, you know, I'm not sure where you're from if you're watching this, but I know most of my tribe are American. Some of you are European. So, you know, maybe you'll have more of a connection to that with, you know, an ancestral line, but there's definitely something in there that is connected to you. So right away, looking at this, there's cards that are behind there, but the storyteller really wanted to come forward. And in the animal medicine cards, if we're called to read any of them, we will. But I'm actually curious right now because I was drawn to the numbers. Okay, here we go. Interesting. So we have 4 and 1 is 5. So that's the number of change, right? And then 5, 6. And then I heard all these variations. You can make things, right? Like you can take, and I'm just go with me, right? Because I'm like they're saying just go with it. So see the numbers. See how the frog is number 38, the whale's 41, and the snake is number 6. They're really having us like look at those numbers and looking on how we can transmute numbers, and we can basically create anything we want it to be, right? Like, so you could say, okay, I have all of the number 10. I have 1 through 10 present. And somebody might say like, what are you talking about? But they're saying with these numbers, you can create anything you want to create, right? So like the snake, oops, here we go. The snake is number 6, right? And he's got 6 eggs in there. This mama snake, she's got 6 eggs in her basket that she has slithered her body around. Okay. So 41 on the whale, there's 1. If you divide 4 into 2, or divide it in half, it's 2, but also 1 times 1 is 2. And they're saying still stick with them, right? And then like, okay, so I'm trying to even understand like what they're saying right now. Oh, okay. So they're saying like, and then you can make a prime number, right? So like 38 is a 3. They're saying some of you are totally getting this, and you're probably way ahead of me because I'm not really, they're showing me, but I don't even know how to explain it properly. So 1, 3, and then 4 and 1 is 5. This is really interesting. I see where they're going with this. And then 6, and then 6 and 1 is 7, 8, and then 3 times 3 is 9. And then we're back to 1 is the 1 and 0, is like the representation of 10. So for some reason, they had me say all of that. And I'm not even, honestly, I don't even know what that means. So that must mean something to you guys. Because I feel like I just was like speaking a language that doesn't belong to me. But that's what they're saying. And I'm also hearing I'm hearing Einstein and numbers. And it's really interesting because number 5, the Atlantis pile number 5, I was seeing a lot of like scientists and like that kind of mental thinking, but now I'm getting it from you guys too. So I'm hearing like you guys are really heavily left brain. Okay, that's where this all went. This like puzzle, right? This puzzle with the numbers, like you guys see things that like we don't see, right? Like they're saying like you see things that we don't see. Pile number 1. Some of you have a talent with numbers or something where you see something that other people don't see, or it's like your love language is numbers, or you're really, really good with numbers and you don't even know how to explain it to people, but you have like this language. That's where your storyteller comes in. That's why out of all, there are more cards, there are more native spirit cards behind there, and they have words on them, but the storyteller really wanted to come forward. And they're talking about that you guys, are really old, right? You got like this really old medicine, look at the whale. I mean, the whale is like one of the most, it's literally like one of the oldest species on our planet is the whale. And, look up these spirit animals. That's the other thing I'm supposed to tell you is to research the frog, the whale, and the snake. I'm not meant to get like really deep into this. This is like for you guys to do your own work. And Spirit told me the other day in meditation that I have been enabling way too much to myself, my friends, my family, my partner, my clients, everything, our tribe. And that's why I've been kind of backing off a little bit. So, research frog, whale, and snake spirit animals, because that's like really important for you guys. The other thing I'm hearing is in the medicine cards in this deck, when you get a blank one like this can be anything you want it to be. The blank one means like, is it a spirit animal that you work with all the time that you need to call upon, you know? Is it like, for me lately, I've been like calling the deer and looking for them and looking for them and looking for them. And then finally there they were yesterday, they showed up. I'm like, they're back. And it's always like a trio of deer. It's really cool. And, you know, so like, I feel like I manifested them because I kept picturing them in the field and I wanted to see them and I needed their medicine. I just was craving their medicine so badly because they bring such a beauty, you know, to the farm, to the energy around here. And so the same is for you. It's like, is this an animal, or is it more than an animal? Is it something that you're longing for? Is it something that, like, is this your magic mirror, you know, like, mirror, mirror on the wall, you know, like, what do you want it to be? But I'm going to tell you something. When this card shows up in reverse, it usually means that it's draining you. Like, it means that, like, maybe it's something that you really want, but it's not for you and they want you to let it go. That's something to think about too. Because I almost feel like, let's look at it like this. Okay, let's look at the imagery of this picture. I'm being drawn to like go into this detail, which is kind of cool. So see how, like, when it's in reverse, you know, when it's upright, you can look at it as like the sky, right? Like if you look at the animals right now, you look at the frog and the whale and the snake, and even the storyteller card, you know, it's blue, right? It's in the sky. But they're saying like, but it's flipped upside down, right? So whale caught my attention and showed me the water and said, what if this is water? And I feel like some of you are feeling like you're barely staying above water. You're barely staying afloat. Like you're there, but you're barely staying afloat. And they're saying, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to know all the answers right now, you know? They're saying like to hang in there, right? And for some of you, I'm getting this is interesting, by the way. I'm getting so hot. I'm like literally like pulling things off of me. This is so funny. But for some of you, this is also like maybe you're like, you know, when you lay in the water and you're just floating, you're just like floating, like coasting, like in the water, you're like, do, 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 do. So they're saying like some of you, that's you with, you know, you're laying in the water and you're looking up to the sky. Oh, interesting. This is why I love spirit. I mean, I love them anyway, but watch this. So they're saying there's a reason why these cards were behind there. So it's the thunder drum. So for some of you, you know, it's like they're calling you to work with drumming, whether it's through tapping, you know, whether, you know, whatever that card means to you, really, because I feel like the thunder drum card is very, very personal. You know, their hands are up to the air, right? And it's like it's not a man, it's not a woman, it's just an energy, it's just a being, it's a human being that is like calling to the heavens. And if you look at that, you know, you can see there's like lightning there, right? Like there's lightning like cracking down, but they're like holding their own. And so they're saying like, you know, are you going to be the person who's like holding on for dear life? Are you going to be the person who's bobbing along, you know, just like laying in the water? Or are you going to like call your thunder drum out into the world and say, hey man, here I am. I'm feeling this wants to come over here. Here we go. That's okay. They want to be front and center. I feel like that card didn't want to leave there, and now I have to put it back. But you see what I'm saying, right? And so for some of you, you have to ask yourself, like, who do you want to be? Like, where do you fit in? There's more to this, they're saying. And we're going to get back to the snake. So they're having me kind of scoot over to the shapeshifter. Okay. See the shapeshifter? Look at that. It even has a full moon on it. That's really powerful. How do you want to show up? They're like having me be really quiet right now, you guys. It's almost as if they're like letting you, because you guys are right brain people and left brain people, which is really, really rare, you know, which is why they want you to do a lot of research on this medicine for yourself. Shapeshifters can mean a lot of different things. And that's the other thing they're saying about this one too. You know, like sometimes you're that person that's like clawing and breathing for air, trying to stay afloat. And then sometimes you're that person that's just coasting along. So there's kind of like, I feel like this kind of like you're holding your breath and then you're breathing and you're relaxing. And then you're holding your breath and then you're breathing and you're relaxing. And they're like, okay, you are deciding that. You are the one that's doing that. And you're shape-shifting your roles constantly into all these different people that you think other people want you to be, instead of like going at the beat of your own drum, of your own thunder drum. This is your life. This is your life. This is nobody else's life. And so the storyteller is, you know, it's time for you to talk about it. It's time for you to tell your story. I'm hearing blog, writer, you know, and, you know, for some of you, you know, you don't want to be seen. They're saying, you know, there's a lot of people that use pseudonyms, you know, like for names, or they, I don't remember, but I know certain writers, like I know Stephen King has like, he writes under female names. Like he doesn't always write under Stephen King. So think about that too. You can have some anonymity as a writer if you don't want to put yourself out there. And so they wanted me to, you know, kind of put that out there for you. Look at frogs. They're so amphibious, right? Like they're so amazing. Also, just, you know, frogs are all about money and luck and good fortune. And see how the frog is like looking at your story? Like, hey man, what's your story going to be? What's your story going to be? So the Moonology cards called in and they wanted to be here too. And the Scorpion, the full moon in Scorpio, saying it's time to release negativity. Let it go. Don't hold on to that stuff. You know, they're having me bring up that analogy about the poison, right? Well, plus I've heard this analogy twice, so obviously I have to, in the last few weeks, because I've been like binge watching on Gilmore Girls, and it was on there twice, so it's kind of funny. But have you ever heard of the old tale about the scorpion and the turtle? And how the scorpion says to the turtle, hey, can you give me a ride across the river? And the turtle says, no, you're going to sting me and I'm going to die. And they're like, why would I hurt you? If you drowned, I drowned. So, you know, no, don't worry about it. I'm not going to do that. And so the turtle very openly and trustingly says, okay, and lets the Scorpio jump on his beautiful hard shell. And then when they get across the way, as the Scorpio is getting down, it accidentally stings the turtle. And the turtle says, oh my gosh, you just stung me. You're not supposed to sting me. And he said, well, what did you expect? I'm a scorpion. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I don't even need to go into that. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense, right? Also, with the shapeshifter, they want me to bring the snake back to remind you to shed the skin that no longer belongs to you. You know, it's like when the snake is done with its skin, it moves on. It moves on. It leaves the shedding there. It doesn't like drag it around with it. It only drags it around until it fully comes off. I mean, sometimes you'll see, it's really cool actually. If you find a snake in nature that still has part of its scales on it, it's pretty neat to see. And it's like, wow, like they're in the middle of a transmutation. That's really neat. So that's what they're saying, right? And those 6 eggs in there, that number 6 means something for some of you guys. So look that up too. You know, it wasn't just about the funny, silly thing about the right brain, left brain with the numbers. The number 6 is really powerful. And it's also part of 38, which is in the frog, right? It's have 3 and is part of 6. So there's something in there about the number 6. And they're asking me to kind of move this over, to move the snake over actually, so that he can hang out with the storyteller, because there's something for that for later. Okay. They're also saying, this is a supermoon, right? You're the only pile that got this. You're the only one that got this about the supermoon. Emotions are running high. I love how this rock was solid before. I had it, and it asked to be turned over, and it's almost like this, you're like a representation. This rock is a representation of you right now. You're really unsteady. You need to get stable. You need to ground, 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 ground. I know it's the end of winter, right? Like we're at the end of shedding and like whatever. So these are the things that Spirit wants you to work with. So your emotions are running high on this super moon, right? It's a beautiful card, by the way. But full moon in Libra. I love how you had a full moon in Scorpio. Look at you getting all these full moons, you powerful, powerful beast. Interesting. A win-win outcome is forecast. A full moon in Libra. That's really exciting. You know, I've been studying the moons so much lately that I've gotten like out of sync with just listening to Spirit and going by the pictures. So I heard earlier to like just go with my gut. So my gut is telling us, you know, the fall is really going to be a blissful, wonderful time for us. Even though, you know, Libra is, I believe it's an earth sign. There's still some like there's a lot of fiery magic that's like coming out of like going from summer to fall. So for a lot of us, I'm seeing that these scales, like everything's going to kind of come back into balance by fall, by Libra season. Libra season starts at the end of September and goes to the end of October. So by the end of summer and going into fall, a lot of this is going to make sense to you. But they're saying, don't let your pride get in the way. Another full moon, you guys. Another full moon. No other pile got this many. Nobody got these. I mean, this is crazy. I'm like, it's almost too much. It's almost too much. Don't let pride, there's like, even with me, don't let pride get in the way. And Leo is a fire sign, right? Like they want you to feel good about yourself and they want you to be happy. But, you know, some of you guys are just, it's like you're kind of all over the place. It's like 1 minute you're like cowering, like I'm getting this like where you're like not feeling good. And another minute you're like, yeah, I'm a whale. I'm strong. I'm a shapeshifter. It's like you're kind of all over the place, but you're also like wearing many hats. So while you're going through this time and shedding your skin, just be mindful not to let pride get in your way. And dare to be happy. Some of these cards kept coming in again, you know, from some of the readings that we've been doing. So it doesn't, I mean, obviously we're a tribe, right? We're a soul tribe. Panda tribe, soul tribe, panda tribe. So it makes sense that some of these piles, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, that reading, you know, that part was for that person or that part was for that person. But this one, this will make a lot of sense to you guys, you know. It's like you're caught somewhere between, you know, being free and being, you know, you're like, but it's like you're trying to control everything and they're saying, let go of control. And look at this, emotions are running high, right, on a supermoon. So you have all these full moon energy, full moon in Scorpio, Libra. And these also could be, you know, Leo. This could be you. You could be a Leo, a Libra, or a Scorpio, or it's maybe the people that you're dealing with are those signs. But this intense moon energy, you guys are powerful motherfuckers, man. Like the whale, I mean, come on. You got the whale and the frog and the snake. Like that's like some serious like medicine, like, you know, medicine people shit. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, they want you to still be happy, right? Because it's vibrational. So you got to dare to be happy. And in order to do that, you have to open your heart. And look at 1 and 5 is 6. They're having me, the other one was 26. Dare to be happy was 26. So there's something with the number 6 with you guys too. So look up, you know, I think you had 444 and then 6. Okay. And they're saying when you open your heart, you can give it to God. Give it to God, right? I'm here. You can let Libra go now. They do want this one to stay though. This one's important, they said. Because this is the one you guys are having the hardest time with, is daring to be happy. And you have to give it to God. You know, you can't keep everything for yourself. Like we can't do it all ourselves. You know, cry, let it go, release that energy, talk about it. The storyteller is coming out. Talk about it. It's okay. It's okay, you know, but if you don't talk about it, how are you going to know? They want you to think about what you really want. What do you want? Stop being the judge, jury, and executioner. They literally told me to say that. Of yourself and others. You have become the judge, jury, and executioner of others, which is why you're daring to be happy. You think you can do it all. You can't do it all yourself. You have to give it to God, Goddess, the Creator. Give it to your higher self, your spirit guides, whatever. You know, it's all languaging. But once you decide the outcome, then you can start filling the well. I love this one. Then you can start filling the well. But you know what? You got to keep doing stuff. You got to keep working at it step by step, bit by bit. It's not just like, so like the snake is coming forward again, and their snake is saying, it's not just like you shed your skin once and that's it. How many times do you think you're going to shed your skin? A lot, which is why it's the number 6 again. It's about shedding, releasing, letting go, which is why you have all this moon energy. That's what full moons are all about. In fact, I'm going to read this from this one card, or from the Moonology deck. The full moon is all about results and forgiveness and gratitude, right? But it takes a minute to fill the well, right? And the well could be your soul. It could be a million things. It could be money going into your account. You know, these readings are timeless and they're from many people. But see, it takes many times to work on it. And look at that moon. It looks like was that a waning moon? Which is, you know, also about reevaluating and balance and trust. Oh, excuse me. No, that's about relaxing, accepting, and regrouping. And that's funny because look what the next card is. Take a breather. But they're just saying about relaxing. You got to take more breathers. See that person in the background? They're still working. They're still working. And these guys are like, I'm going to take a breather, man. I'll get there. You'll get there. That's what they want you to know. You're going to get there. It takes a minute, but you'll get there. And the win-win is in the forecast. So if you do all those things, by the time fall comes around, then you'll be ready to go. So now that we've gone through these cards, we're going to talk about the sacred mountain and the ancient forest. This card wants to come front and center. So the sacred mountain and the ancient forest, that is where you gain your strength. And if you look at this card, I got this really strong. If some of you have been thinking about going to Peru or studying like with the Mayans or something like that, or if you're just wanting to travel to some indigenous like place, I'm getting a really huge yes, 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 yes. I just got the chills. I know for myself, I've been feeling the call myself. So, heed that call. Go to the sacred mountain wherever it is. And this card, they did ask me to come in and read this card, so I will read it because they said it's going to resonate with some of you more than others. And they said that's why the storyteller is here. And if you look over to the left, the ancient forest is there too, right? What did we just talk about? Grounding. Getting out into nature. That's why I pulled all this, nature stuff to come into this reading today. The sacred mountain is all about, it says, be still and take the time to move into the silent place within yourself. Locate your internal source of power. Meditate. Wait. Do not move forward until it feels right. Surrender to stillness. Do not take action. If you observe rather than react, you claim your power. Your native spirit wants you to know, from the vantage point of the sacred mountain, your power grows. In silence, you'll find your sacred witness. It is the dwelling place of your soul. In peace, seek and discover your truth. Move past the bustle and clatter of life into sweet quietude. If you're in pain, don't lash out. Go into it don't lash out. Go into it until you find the source so that it can be healed, right? We were just talking about that. It comes from this time period. Now, this is the medicine, right? These cards have been the medicine that Spirit gave